The most common advice for founders is niching down. You're often told that you need to focus on one specific thing and offer it to one specific type of person. Today we'll look at an example of someone who proves that this is not always the case. He's currently running 24 projects and counting and makes over 2 million ARR. In fact, it's probably going to be much more in 2024 because he's already made 2 million just in January alone. His name is John Rush. Let's dive in. John is originally from a remote town in Turkey. So remote, in fact, that they didn't even have electricity until he was 8 years old. When they finally did, he immediately discovered his love for technology. At 13, his father bought him a laptop after he helped harvest potatoes for months to help cover the cost. Since they still didn't have any internet at the time, he taught himself how to code so he could build his own games. A few years later, he got accepted to a Norwegian university to study computer science. This was his world. He spent all days and nights learning and building his first project called Rush Studio, where he helped other programming students with their assignments. While it was extremely profitable, he knew that he essentially helped other students cheat, which he wasn't comfortable with. So he eventually sold it for 5 figures. He actually tells his whole story in this tweet here, so take a look at that as well. And by the way, you'll find all the links and all the examples in the newsletter edition of this video in the description down below. That's the second link right there. He started working for Norway's incubator program called Startup Lab. Between 2011 and 2017, he was involved in 30 startups. Unfortunately, all of them were failing. He did make some good profit here and there though. For instance, he bought an icon startup in 2014 and sold it for 2x just 6 months later. In 2017, he sold another one for 5 million after building it for 3 months. He kept trying to convince those startups to focus on profitability instead of massive growth, but neither founders nor investors were fond of this idea. Instead, he started bootstrapping his own project in 2018. It's called MarsX and it's a dev tool for applications that allows founders to launch much faster. Instead of having to build everything from scratch, he provides templates so that you can launch in weeks instead of months. But for the first year, John really struggled to convince developers to use his tool. They don't get paid more if they're more productive, so it wasn't an attractive solution for them. After struggling to get his first users, John realized that the best way to prove its worth is to use it himself. So he started building projects in weeks instead of months. The first one was SEO Bot. And then during the next few months, he built tools to replace his entire 10-person contractor team. Here are all the projects that you can see in this thread. Again, link is in the newsletter edition down below. And he's not done yet. His goal is to build 100 projects by 2025 and 1,000 by 2026. His ambitious goals attract attention. How can a single person create so many profitable projects? Each project has one developer working on it, but apart from that, John is solo. Now, his secret is using MarsX. He says that MarsX is a great tool for no-code founders to build an MVP. As soon as you get confirmation from users that they want to use your product and you either make some revenue or get some funding, you can bring on a developer who can continue building on MarsX. This makes the platform very accessible for all types of founders. And he proves that by quickly building profitable products himself. This is the best promotion. The tools he built are so successful that he only has a waitlist for MarsX at the moment. I'm not sure what his strategy is, but he already has 20,000 people signed up, which is pretty crazy. On their website, it says that they're gradually onboarding new users, so this creates a really good feeling of exclusivity and scarcity, which is amazing to get people excited about finally getting access. He quickly realized that he needed to publicly share his work to attract his ideal clients and users. So he started documenting his journey on Twitter and LinkedIn in March 2023. He's been tweeting daily and sharing what he's currently working on. And he also shares some thoughts on SaaS, AI, and some useful tools. By the end of 2023, he's had some pretty viral threads like this one. And he actually uses the same content across platforms. Look at what it looks like on LinkedIn. As you can see, it's exact same content. Now, there are different people on both platforms, and this is an easy way to reach both with little extra effort. Another place where his target audience hangs out is Reddit, which he only really picked up in 2024. After a few removed posts, John found his groove and mostly posts in subreddits for startups and entrepreneurs. I found one that went pretty viral again, and the cool thing is this is actually just a repurposed Twitter thread. Again, link is in the newsletter edition, so if you wanna have a look at that, make sure to go down there and subscribe. Initially, he thought that Mars X is perfect for developers, but after showing his own projects, it attracted mostly no-code founders who wanted to improve their productivity. But instead of using Mars X, they started signing up for all of John's other tools. Since all of these tools attract the same audience, cross-promotion became really easy. For instance, if you used his SEO tool called SEObot, you might also like his indexing tool called IndexRusher. If you're a founder who's building a SaaS or an app, John is the perfect founder and role model to follow. Ideally, you should build something for people who are in a similar situation to you. Then use it yourself and show how useful and helpful it is in your own business and life. The key to success for bootstrap founders is to publicly share your process and progress. So here are 3 things that you can test to accelerate your success the most. Launch your MVP as soon as possible and include users in the building process. Share your journey on social media. Choose a platform where your target audience is mostly on. For instance, for no-code founders, this is Twitter and LinkedIn. And also do podcast interviews. This allows you to share your story with more people and position yourself as an authority. Alright, that wraps up John's story. If you'd like to hear more founder stories similar to John of people that you might not have heard of but that are hugely successful, then sign up to this YouTube channel and don't forget to check out my newsletter as well for all the links and examples. Talk soon. Bye.